Everybody, welcome back to Conservation Conversations. It's great to be here in 2026, season 3. And for my first guest, I've got a very talented, brilliant, inspirational, creative person who I can't wait for you to meet. A very brief news update first, given this is episode 1 of a new series. A quick reminder that Stornoway is going to be headlining in the Royal Albert Hall at the end of March. So see you there. We're planning a unique show, pulling out all the stops, and it's going to make it really special and unforgettable. And our support act is the wonderful Hayden Thorpe from Kendal in the Lake District. He's going to be bringing the sounds of the Lake District habitat, in addition to the habitats that we are going to be representing. I don't want to give too much away, but you'll hear a bit of the seascapes that you hear in our songs. You'll hear plenty of bird songs. It's going to be very different to the typical Royal Albert Hall show. Okay, the other piece of news is Folk Album of the Year Award have launched their first set of nominations and votes, and the winners are going to be announced on the 17th of March. So just a couple of days before the start of the Manchester Folk Festival. And as our partners in this podcast, Manchester Folk Festival, along with their friends Sound Roots and Folk on Foot, I just wanted to encourage you to go check out that award and listen to all the amazing acts that have been nominated. I had great fun tuning into their live announcement of all the nominees last month and discovering so much music I'd never heard of from all over the globe. It's a really inspirational list, and encourage you to go check them out and tune in for the live awards on the 17th of March, that is. Okay, without further delay, I'm going to invite in my very special guest, someone who's inspired me for quite a while, and someone who I really can't wait to see at the Manchester Folk Festival. They're playing one of the late sets at Band on the Wall. So if there's any way you can get down to Manchester for that Friday night performance, the 20th of March, make sure you do that and go and see Frankie Archer. Hello, Frankie. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Hiya, thanks for having us.
That's a pleasure. I'm really excited to have you as my first guest for the season. And we've had some great guests in the past. Bella Hardy, Sam Lee, Angeline Morrison have been some of my favorites. But there's so much I want to ask you about. And I know we only have a short time, so I'm going to launch straight in with a slightly technical one. How did you build the Cherub Realm?
How did I build it? You mean kind of software-wise, or what?
Yeah, it just looks different to your average sort of fan club or Patreon and sort of thing. You've really put your own spin on it and made it a space that I think feels really inviting to music fans, trad folk fans, to come and tune into.
Yeah, so it essentially is a Patreon, but it's more direct because it's on my own website, so that's why it looks a bit different. I've got more control over things, and also means that less of a cut is taken by like an external company like Patreon. I mean, they're great, but yeah, it means that, yeah, it's a bit more personalizable, it's a bit more direct, and it also makes more sense for me as an independent musician because there's less pie being kind of cut away. But yeah, it's a very cool place. It's a new place, the Cherub Realm, and I'm glad that it feels good as well.
Yeah, there's the 3 different tiers there, right? Cherubs, demons, and angels. And I encourage everybody, they're very reasonably priced for your average fan club. And there's some very special material in there. Please go and sign up to Frankie's fan club there.
Yeah, join the Cherub Realm.
Yeah, do it.
It's fun.
And what can people expect to see from perhaps your Manchester Folk Festival set? Any sneak peeks you can give us?
Yeah, so this is going to be the 3rd time maybe that I'm playing Manchester Folk Festival, but it's going to be the first time that I'm playing Manchester Folk Festival as a trio. So it's me, it's Frankie Archer, but I'm going to have Amy Thatcher, the synth witch, with us, and Francesca Knowles, who is like absolutely incredible on drum kit. So yeah, it's going to be very different, more kind of dynamic, and normally I'm tied to my table where I'm controlling the synth, the drum tracks, everything, but I'll be more free to kind of... Are we swearing or not swearing in this?
Go for it.
Well, it's not a big swear word anyway, but I'll be like more free to kind of dick about on stage basically and be dramatic and float around this way and that way. So yeah, it's going to be different this time. and it's only going to be the second time ever I'll play live with Trio. So that matches quite well actually, because the first time I played Manchester Folk Festival was only my second ever gig.
Oh,
So Manchester's place of seconds for me, apparently.
yeah. I hope you play one of the particular tracks that I found riveting, really. The visuals in the video, particularly the closing shot where all these ants are dragging away a spider's corpse. And it's the most
Mm.
sort of, it's just way that nature's chaos is brought into music and into music production. And you cut that video beautifully, but also just the audio and the performance, really like the precision alignment of all these the consonants in your harmonized vocal. It's the track Oxford Town, which I wasn't drawn to just because Stornoway are an Oxford band originally, but also because I've personally developed a great interest in the ancient folk song catalogue, and that song is one that I've learned myself. But your version is miles better than anything I could do. Are
Oh,
you
no.
going to be playing that one at all?
Yeah, that's one of my faves. That it feels like my first kind of proper song that I released.
Great.
I call it Oxford City in my version,
Hmm.
and it's yeah, it's one of my faves. So that'll be coming out definitely.
Yeah. And then Lucy Wan is another favorite, just because your version there is again like the visual side as well as the music. It's like the full package when people hear this music. Have you heard Nick Hart's version of Lucy Wan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
uh,
good. One.
yeah. Nick's a great singer who I've seen now at 2025 Manchester Folk Festival and then at the Hackney Folk Club, and really hope we can maybe collaborate with him at some stage. But yeah, just thank you for your music. And I'd now like to take us deeper into that trad folk topic by asking you the first of our conservation questions. In the conservation conversations, we talk about conservation in multiple different senses of the word. Most people hear it and they think, oh, ecology, biodiversity, and we'll get to that. But the first sense of the word is I want to ask you about conservation in the musical tradition sense. So, as someone who's recorded these folk songs and put your own spin on it, feel free to reference your own work in your response here. But the question is, amongst all the music you've sort of experienced and maybe even seen live, is there a particularly well blended combination where someone brought the old and then injected the new? They fanned the flames of tradition, but they also created space for human modern innovation.
What springs to mind is when I saw a band called Heen, Heen, and I'm not sure how many gigs they've got on at the minute. They, I think, are pretty new, and it is Jenna McCrory and Sam Baxter, and I saw them not kind of like almost accidentally. So I went to see the band Revolver, who are incredible, and you'll have heard of them, and Heen was supporting, and so it's this duo of kind of laptop editing and live fiddle and guitar, and they did some tracks that just stopped us. Like, I was so inspired by what they played. I missed Revolver because I went home to make more music. So but I was so disappointed to not see Revolver. Anyway, they do a few tracks with like proper dirty wobby bass and like nasty drums, but completely raw recordings, like kind of archive recordings of I don't know, old Shetland ladies singing and proper kind of mixed together in a way that you would think never ever would work, but completely does. So yeah, listen to Heen if you can.
Yeah,
Look
check
what
that
it
out.
is.
Is that where they're based in the Northeast?
Yeah,
Yeah, great. I'm curious and grateful for any discoveries I'm making of the Northeast folk scene at the moment. My granddad was from Gateshead, and then I was cruelly sort of taken away from there when I was too young to get the proper Geordie accent, and then I've ended up far away from there. But I have really enjoyed some of the trad folk songs I've learned. Some of my favorite has been the Northeast Singers, and Vin Garbett is someone who I've really enjoyed. And then Graham, is it Graham Miles, who wrote a lot of stuff. about his seafaring
I
days.
don't know Green Miles. Sometimes compared to a lot of people, I'm not always like shit hot on me trad stuff. I know quite a lot of Northeast folk trad stuff, but not them. So
All right, I'll send you some links. Um,
Mhm.
One of the great joys of trad folk is there's just so much of it, right? And you
Down.
can have these songs that jump out at you from the speakers, that you didn't know were going to catch you. And sometimes it's like the chaos and the imperfections and the rawness of these old recordings that were done before things became digitized. What are your thoughts on artificial intelligence and how it's going to gradually, inevitably encroach on music making?
Well, it is already. um, my thoughts on artificial intelligence and music making. Well, it needs to be controlled. It needs to be flagged. Definitely, this is the main issue: is that like there's so much AI music kicking about that is not labeled as AI music, and a lot of people would maybe recoil at knowing that it was AI music. But if it's not labeled, you can use it anyway. Do you know what I mean? There's been lots of music for a long time, I guess, which will be called library music, which is less, I don't know, less kind of revered sometimes than music that's created from the point of view of I'm a creative person. I need to create this music, and it's like the pinnacle of my creativity, whatever. Library music for like sticking in the back of a YouTube video or playing in a shop or something like that. It's been on the go for a long time. So I think kind of background music as a thing has been going on. So I don't think AI music is causing the backgroundification of music. Like that's already been going on for a while. But the thing is, artists aren't creating it now, and artists aren't getting paid for it now. So it is taking money away from artists. I think there's so much cool stuff that AI can do in music and outside of music. Some things can be automated that make creating music more streamlined. So lets artists realize the creative ideas faster with fewer barriers of like, oh, I need to tweak this thing, I need to manipulate that thing, in whatever software you're using. So I think AI can be used for good and can be used as a tool to like enhance properly created music, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of running free with absolutely no limitations or policing at the minute, which is not cool. And it's getting pushed by powerful, popular platforms. So yeah, it feels like it's kind of running away at the minute, which is
Yes.
not the one.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're kind of,
environmental impact is
of course.
yeah, not cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I partly ask that because we're going to move into our conservation question around the environmental topic now. But just before we leave that, I'll explain to listeners, because a lot of people have asked over the past few months why we've got birdsong and rainfall in the background on this podcast. I keep a soundtrack of that going on as one extra little shield, a piece of armor against AIs taking the voices of my guests and turning them into a deep fake voice. Because with all this sort of background noise, it distorts, from an AI's perspective, the signal. So it's a little bit harder to caption what we're saying and take it and
That is good.
remodel it. But
Although AI hasn't quite got up to Geordie Scratch yet. My diction doesn't suit them, so I'm having problems sometimes trying to automate stuff. But yeah, that's nice. It's a little
Right.
protect.
And then also, before we dive into that second question, a reminder to people where they can come and see you. So Friday, 20th of March, the late show at the Band on the Wall in Manchester, which last year, that was the slot that everyone kind of cohered onto, because everyone's hanging out at Band on the Wall after everything else has stopped. And I can't remember who was playing, but that's how good it was. We were all just having too much fun. But Band on the Wall is such a class venue. And then before that, the end of January, if anyone can get to Sunderland to watch you in the double headline with your friends Amy Thatcher and Francesca Knowles, right? That's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, they're doing. It's like a double headliner, so it's their vinyl launch event, and it is my kind of trio launch event as well. So it's going to be in a really cool venue called Popworks in Sunderland, and yeah, it's gonna be happening. So if you can't come to Manchester, but you can come to Sunderland, then yeah, get there.
Sounds good. And hopefully more tour dates later in the year. I'd like to then ask you about the environment and perhaps a place that is meaningful to you. So when we say conservation conversations, inevitably we do need to end up talking a bit about biodiversity and ecology and how that plays a role for artists and creative people. And lots of my guests talk about how it's very much like a soothing, rebalancing place that they go to. They might go walking outside, or if they're lucky enough to have a garden space, they go and tend their garden, and that helps them be creative. But some are much more city dwellers, and they don't really have that context. So just where you are in that sort of arrangement of where does nature fit into your music making process? And I would summarize it as asking for your one example of a place that you feel makes music making even more natural and gives it momentum. Is there a place that blends in music making with the experience of nature?
No. No, basically, music making is in here in my kind of home studio. Just kind of sat at my laptop, really. But personally, obviously, I need nature, and it's very special. And everything that comes into me as a person then comes out into my music somehow. So I don't like sit in a nice forest and write some songs and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, the moors, in the North Pennines, I'm from Consett, which is on the edge of the moors, and they're like bare and vast and absolutely gorgeous. Every time I drive towards Consett, where I came from, I see them on the hills, and it just puts us right at home, settles us, makes us kind of aligned. And also there's an amazing secret little swimming place up near the moors, past Consett, where it's kind of like it's like a plunge pool in a river, very hidden away, and you've got to go for a little hike to get there. And whenever I go swimming in that, which is not right now because it's too cold, but that just resets us and makes us feel good in nature as well. And it's upstream of all the water pipes that are spewing out shit, so that's a nice.
Yeah. Great. Stornoway is compiling its list of wild places that might be good to play a gig in. So I'll add that one to the list.
Yeah.
We're always, careful not to intrude on species that maybe call that a home, and it's a delicate sort of habitat that we would interrupt if we brought a crowd there. But within reason, we want to tour as many wild spaces as possible. Royal Albert Hall for us is, a one-off. We want, civilized shows in a big room in the city. That's one thing, but that's why we bring in the habitat in to change that and make it more natural. But from there, we want to go out to natural spaces. Well, it's been a great pleasure to chat to you, Frankie. Thanks very much for your time, and I'm glad I could get you as my first guest of this new season. Everyone tune back in Tuesday next week, and we'll be running these every week up till the Manchester Folk Festival 2026. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for being one of my most interesting guests. Some really great responses to that. And just one more encouragement: if anyone, if you can't make Frankie's gigs, or even if you can, to get in the mood for the gigs, go check out her music online, because from everything from those videos I mentioned earlier, through to say the Jules Holland performance, where it's like a note perfect rendition in front of a crowd, really beautifully executed, you're in for a treat. And do sign up to Frankie's Cherub Realm as well.
Thanks. And that was one take, by the way, the Jules Holland thing. I can't listen back to it because I don't like it. I'm not happy with it, but it was one take.
Never are. Yeah. Well,
make your own mind up about it, but yeah.
Oh, it must have been a thrill. Well, thank you so much, Frankie. Really